Oh, hi, and welcome to another episode of If It's in the Mind, It Can Be Managed, the Mind Management Mentors podcast. Now, today we've got a fantastic subject of what's the missing piece to most people's entrepreneurial or self employed business? What's the missing secret ingredient? And I'm a big believer in this. And when you said what you wanted to talk about today, I'm like, that is absolutely perfect in all fairness. And it is one of those things that's so scary. Most people hate it, don't like it, left their business because they didn't want to be involved with it. Then they go into their own self journey of working on entrepreneurship, and then they find out that I need this secret hot sauce. What is the hot sauce that's missing? And today, introduce yourself and let everybody know what's that secret sauce that they're missing. Say hi, and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Julie Taylor. I'm Queen Bee of Buzz Business Networking, British, but I'm based in the Netherlands. So I bring people together. I have a community. I'm an accountability coach, which I'm going to touch on, do social media as well. Can't stay off it. Great to be here. Thank you.
So the missing hot sauce, the missing secret, and one of the scariest worlds. And I'm in a different business networking group, and one of the core. What? So I'm in the BNI, and I know that I know I don't know why you're turning your face. I love the
Ooh,
BNI, and there's so many people
loving
that
the
say I can't.
BNI.
I know there's so many people that say, "Cuddy, I can't believe you like the BNI." I'm like, I love it, but I love it for exactly what we're going to talk about because one of our core values at the BNI, and I'm sure it's something that you'll possibly take on with the RBC, if you haven't already, is that one word that freaks people out so much is accountability.
I thought it was AI, but no, it's okay. It also starts with A.
But
Joking.
it's
You're all right with it.
accountability.
Yeah,
And you're an accountability coach.
I am.
So you hold people. Are they technically employing you to tell them what to do?
In a way, I'm sort of their auntie that they'll come and lay down on the virtual couch and tell me what the sort of mess is going on in their head. I thought it was just going to be entrepreneurs, but actually one of my regular clients is Dutch and employed, so I couldn't have seen that happening. But it's that objective person of saying, all this stuff's going on. What am I going to do first? Because the thing is, if you're ever in a service industry, maybe when we were employed, or even as a business owner, something goes wrong, oh, jump on it, something goes wrong, and it's just like, hang on, hang on. Is just calm down and look at the big picture and what's causing it. Is there an underlying cause? Because I don't know about you, I'd rather somebody, unless the house is on fire, is say, just give me 5 minutes, let me have a look into it and fix it long term. You can tell I started on the IT help desk when I worked in banking. I'm afraid to say switching it off and back on again does sometimes work. So there's a top tip already. But yeah, it's about the getting a bit of perspective. We're on a hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it. We start the day, emails, social media, blah, 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 and just about what's on your to-do list. What can you focus on? What can you do well now and plan for the future?
I love that. And accountability means something different to a lot of people, doesn't it? Let's be honest. Accountability for one person to a different person. So when you say accountability, what do you think accountability is, and why is accountability so scary to so many people?
To me, it's about figuring it out. Like I said, the sort of, craziness that's going on. But sometimes if you never speak it into existence, if you're working on your own, you can just do whatever you want. You can watch doom scroll, look at cat videos, um, you know, start gardening because weather's nice, whatever you want to
Are you
do.
speaking from
Nothing move
experience?
you. And I couldn't, you haven't seen my garden. I could kill a plant by looking at it, but anyway. But for me, if you don't say it out loud to somebody else or write it down, writing it down is good, but then we need to take action. is breaking the big hairy things, hairy, scary things down and taking action. And we need to take action every day. People sometimes say to me, I'm not a leader. I never was a leader when I worked in a corporate. You're leading your own business. If you're not leading it, it's just going to sit there and do nothing, isn't it? It's going to gather dust. Unless somebody comes along and buys your product or service and just by the magic of the internet or something, whatever it might be. But otherwise, we need to take action every day. And some things you might look at and go, am I doing it? I'm going to do it. No, it's not for me. And put it on the think about it pile. For me, think about it pile is generally a no. But if we're not taking action, I don't like, what's the word? Fake it till you make it. Oof. But I like be scared and do it anyway. That means you've.
But why don't you like fake it till you make it? I mean, be scared.
It makes it sound like you don't know what you're doing. It really makes, because if I was going to work with somebody who kept saying that, I was like, do you actually know anything? I feel like they're just Googling AI and everything, watching YouTube videos. And I don't feel like they're an expert in everything, anything. Or I don't mean expert, I just mean versed or, knowledgeable or experienced. If somebody's just like, just do this and then I do that as well. And it was like, the two things are not, we could talk about being multi-passionate on another podcast, I'm sure.
Multi-passionate is, I get what you're saying by multi-passionate. Do you know, there's something that I heard a long time ago, that when you go into entrepreneurship, you're probably more of a creative thinker and a creative mind, which is why I can understand. So when you go into entrepreneurship, you'll probably have about 5 to 10 ideas. Right, this is my business. This is what I'll do. This is what I'll do. But you get so overwhelmed and not completing any. Pick one, complete it, and move to the next one. Make one part of your business successful, then expand. And that's how you can start growing those ideas and really make them come to fruition.
And you need to test it as well, which feels a bit like, I want it. I know what it says and I know what it's for. But if you don't ask people, you could build the most beautiful thing ever, and people go, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it does. And it feels very sort of, you're opening yourself out to criticism. You might not like what they say, but it's part of the process of, because that's another accountability thing you can do. You can say, I'm creating this thing. I've got 5 elements to it. What do you think? And they go, I like 4, don't really understand 5. And then they say, but if you did this, I'd buy it. Oh, right. Okay, let's do this. And then you take them on the journey. They feel like they've helped shape something with you. And even if they don't buy the thing, they'll talk about the thing because they're involved with a thing. And people love to share their opinion. Am I wrong?
Yeah, they do. I think a lot of people like to share their opinions far too much.
Feedback isn't necessarily a gift. I found that I went to an event last year and they said you should ask if you want to give feedback. But luckily, my friends and people I hang out with, they just dish it out and I take it, and that's fine. It's people that you don't. And there is another one. I am allowed to swear, aren't I? I'm allowed to swear.
Of course you are. Yes, yeah.
This session I went to, and it really stuck in my head, is if you really want to challenge yourself and your business, is ask an arsehole. So what they mean by this is ask somebody that you just know is got opinions. You might not like those opinions. You've got to be ready because you might not like that feedback. But it's a bit of a shocker. But they might have a little nugget for you. They might have something that can help you out. So you've got to, have had your Red Bull, your whatever your stimulant of choice is to do that. But if you really want to stress test something, you're going to go out and ask people, because otherwise you're just going to stay in your lane, doing your little thing, crafting it, making it beautiful. Is it ever going to really be a business? Is it ever really going to be a thing? Who knows?
So ask an arsehole. Ask the person who's probably...
We're not calling the podcast that today.
No, it's fine. No, we don't even edit them. They go the whole way through. So what you're talking about there is, if
I'm not the arsehole, by the way. I'm the accountable.
No, but you can. I get what you're saying there. I actually, when I go through the podcast, I'm like, I actually do that. I do that. I said do that, but I actually do go and ask people who I know particularly, or I've got a feeling they don't like me, so they're going to be negative anyway. And I take away. You do take away some nuggets.
You do.
It's the ones, because when you've got your friends and the people that really want you to succeed, they might not give you the feedback that you're possibly going to be going to get anyway. Because, oh no, it's really good. But if nothing happens, it is that construct. I've had this question before with other people: is what's the difference between negative Nellies and constructive feedback that will appear negative?
Well, negative Nellies, they've got no shed of light anywhere, have they? And you can say, I used to have a really good boss in the bank. Well, he was a terrible boss, but he taught me some good lessons. But he used to say, if you've got a problem, bring the answer. So I used
Yeah,
to start sometimes saying, I thought about it, I don't know what the answer is, but it is a problem. But at least, but again, negative Nellies haven't. They're just dumping it at your door. They're just like going, I don't like this, don't like that. And you're like, well, what should it be? I don't know. And that's not helpful criticism. It could be helpful by knowing they are not your people, they are not your crowd, they're not your potential clients. That's also helpful,
yeah,
but that's about as helpful it'll go. Whereas criticism should have an element of improvement, suggestion of, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?
yeah. So, what is? Give me top 5 things that people could do because I'm going to speak from my experience on this one. Is that I left my employer. COVID happened, so I did leave because COVID happened. But at the same time, I was getting fed up of being told what to do by what I perceived in that moment. How can they know when they're not here and seeing what's going on? And I'm told from an office in Miami, can you do this, 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 and this? And I'm like, it'll not work. I'm not being the negative Nancy, but this is the reason. So we're trying to do this instead. So you did get, I knew it was time to leave because I didn't want to turn into the negative Nelly. I wanted to be, I've always, but there is a certain point in time. But when you're working in that kind of structure, you do have accountability to a manager or your boss or your leader. So a lot of people leave that because they get fed up of it. What happens to them when they walk away from that, leave that, and start their business, and then they realize, oh shit, I do need somebody cracking the whip, otherwise I'm not. Because I mean, that's it's literally like, oh shit, now I need to employ an accountability coach. I need a boss, right? How is that? How does that? What's the light bulb moment for people?
So it could be many things. So one of my clients came to me and she saw that her son was struggling to, like get his homework done. He was just like, I'll do it at some point, I'll do it some point. And she realized she was the same. So it's almost like she needed some good structure and behaviors, and then she could instill it in him. So it's a bit like, eating his sprouts first or whatever, however we call it. But, you need to have balance. You need to, as an entrepreneur, business owner, we've got all the stuff to do. So we might have to pick things off the don't really like to do list every now and again. Like we've got a quarterly tax return coming up. It's not my favorite thing, but we have to do it. So it's that a bit of balance, we used to call it a feedback sandwich back in the day. But,
Shit sandwich.
yeah, that's the one. Is the whole, how do I start my day? I'd like to do this. Oh, I've got my taxes to do. And then I will, sit outside and have a coffee in the sun. Whatever it is, but we need to make some steps. We just writing a to-do list ain't getting stuff done. We need to pick 3. Ideally, write your to-do list the night before. Pick 3. And just because you've done all 3, unless they were the tiniest jobs ever, you can have a break, can do something else, or you can tackle that big, hairy, horrible job you didn't want to do. But you need to push yourself for it. Who's going to do it for you?
Yeah.
And so it's things you can do yourself, your to-do list, time blocking. I was quite surprised, and actually I learned from Revitalize about blocking some time for my business as well. So I do that as well. But block time, it's I don't rush from one meeting to come and speak to Cuddy and then I'm going to rush out the door again. I don't need to lead that lifestyle. So don't, so make life comfortable for you. Sorry, I went on a bit there.
No, it's all right. What is time blocking? I don't know what it is.
Time blocking. So it's literally figuring out how long a task is going to take, or try and give it a target time, Have you heard of the Pomodoro? It's a bit like a tin of tomatoes.
The
Um,
Pomodoro tomatoes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm not a fan of Pomodoro because I did say by the time I found the bit of work I want to do, my favorite pen, that's half at time gone already, and then I'm in it, and the timer goes off. But I do use the timer a lot because say it's something like you're trying to do social media design and it's not your thing. So task yourself 20 minutes, whatever, and the timer goes off, and you say to yourself, right, can I just quickly finish this, or I've just not even started. So it's like finish or defer and put it and do it another time. But it's about perfectionism. Doesn't have to be the most beautiful, polishedest thing ever. It just needs to be out in the world. Or maybe it doesn't need to be out in the world, but you need to make a decision one way or the other.
So the whole perfectionism thing is the curse of the fear of not being good enough. Simple as.
Yeah.
Fear of not being good enough exemplifies procrastination and I've got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect before I put it out. So what we're doing there is we need to start listening. For anyone watching this, is like you need to start listening to your language of fear. Everybody has a language of fear. I can't, I won't, I don't. I can't do this because it's just not right yet. Once people start understanding those trigger words are literally just covering one of those core beliefs, which is the fear of not being good enough or the fear of not being worthy, you will start understanding that the language that we run internally is what's stopping us moving forward. And we create so many concepts and meanings, and we don't know where they start and where they come from. But if people could just start listening to their language and go, oh, now that's it. I've heard it. I've heard my language of fear. Right, what am I scared of? Oh, I'm scared. Oh, if I'm going to be stuck in that hamster wheel of, oh, it's not perfect, so I can't put it out. There's no such thing as perfection. No such thing as perfection. Unless Julie there is going, hang on, Cuddy, I'm pretty close to perfect.
No. It's the cost of not taking action. Because if we doubt ourselves about every element of our business, or why are we in business? Because it's just not going to move forward at all.
No.
So if you think about and actually, if you do make a blooper, a typo, or the link doesn't work, you could end up getting a new support. Oh, your link doesn't work. Oh, change it. Oh, thank you for that. Oh, can I ask you about something? You could end up being a client. You just don't know. So also offer help to people when you see things are wrong. And things like when you do videos, people get totally over polishing videos. And I'll usually do one. And I saw somebody recently, she went, I did a video today. She showed me some pages, and I said, I bet the first one was your best one. And actually, I did a video, and then somebody interrupted me because they were looking for a parking space. They did yeah. So I posted the perfect video, and then I posted the blooper because I think it's funny because it's real life.
Yeah.
I don't live in Hollywood. So let's just keep it real. And the thing is, the people I've met through networking, even local to me, I finally met them in person. They feel like friends because I know their story. I know they've got family. I know that they've published a book, but I'm not bored by it because I get that feeling of a warm person. Then I meet them in person, they buy my lunch, which is even better. But it doesn't always happen. But how do you build that relationship if we are behind our computers? Is by being imperfect and just getting on with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask the question though, because I'm sure you'll know this, is why is accountability such a scary word for people?
Because once you said you're doing it, you're doing it. It's like nailed on. But I always say that sometimes things don't happen for a reason. You might have got so far and got like 80% into an online course, and then the provider doesn't do the updates, whatever it might be. And sometimes very early on in your sort of entrepreneurship journey, it can feel so frustrating. But I don't know about you, but I've sometimes found notes I've written or emails, and I was like, who wrote that? Oh, that was me. Because I must have been on it one day. I just say nothing's lost because even if it doesn't come to being delivered, you've learned something. Nobody likes that. I used to live in Scotland, and I remember when I didn't get a house, I was trying to go for, and they say, "What's for you won't go past you." And at that particular moment, I didn't really want to hear that.
I
But
do like that saying though. It's a good Scottish saying, and we'll say that again. Actually, we'll say that now.
do you
What's
have to
not
do it in a
for
Scottish accent?
no, because I'm not Scottish. I'm actually from Barnsley originally. So if it's not for you, it won't go by you. I think there's so many variations of it,
Yes.
and
And it doesn't feel good at the time. It really doesn't.
you want to say fuck off. That's now is not the moment. I need to listen to that little Buddha karma sentence right there. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
But I've actually said on other interviews and other podcasts, I think people might think I've got a bit of screw loose, but to be honest, when things go wrong, I find it quite funny because not everything in life goes as planned. And actually, somebody said to me, "Oh, do you not want a nice 4 day a week job?" And it was just like, well, I could just move back to my hometown and do what everybody else did, but it's not really living your life and having a go, is it? We all need to just follow what drives us, what's our passion, because otherwise we'll just do what everybody else does, and yeah.
So what you're suggesting is the missing success. The reason, and I'll share the thoughts on accountability. Accountability is scary because when you say you're going to do something, you have to do something. So even if you're holding yourself accountable, because you're absolutely right, if you don't understand the language of fear or the behavior of distraction and why we distract ourselves, it's because we're moving away from something that's going to cause us pain. Even if it's a task at work that we don't know, or releasing the book, or putting the video course out, or going for a job interview, we're like, oh, why have I inhibited this behavior? All because we will try and avoid things that will cause us upset. And that's why I like accountability. Because if I've said, oh, I'll work with you, or because, and we can talk about that in networking. When I was kind of lucky because my first experience of proper networking was actually a BNI, and I loved it. I thought, oh, this is great. I like it. I like the fact that we meet every week, the same people, and you build and grow like that. So I was like, oh, I've got to go and do everyone's networking. And I went to other networking groups, and they were like, oh, Cuddy, I'll call you, or leave us a card, or I said, you don't hear anything. And there was no follow up. It was more just the shit talk and the blowing of the smoke of the people. Oh, I need to work with that person. Oh, yeah, no, not really. It's not going to work out. But that's why I like accountability. It's like, I know this person that needs to speak to you, Cuddy. Can I set that up? Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you very much. So that's why I like accountability. Accountability of self is important, but I like the accountability of others. And I think that's why it is such a scary. It is scary. It is scary. Because it's not far away from integrity, is it?
Well, no. And I think making actions to move forward is coming away from excuses, coming away from procrastination, and saying, I'm going to do it. It might not be the right thing, but you might not know until you've done it. But also, people can have a session with me and never let them go away with more than 3 actions. Some people do, but for me, 3 is enough.
You
But
know
when
why
we
3's enough?
Why?
The brain doesn't work in 5s and 8s
There
and
you
9s.
go.
3. The
3.
brain
See, I'm
works
not
on
really
3s.
a fan of odd numbers, but odd numbers keep coming up. I put people together in
3.
in-person networking in 3s because
So
2
if it's
can be a bit
9, break
scary.
it into 3 groups. If you've got 9 tasks, break it into 3
Oh,
groups.
I do
3
like a
threes.
9 though. Yeah.
No, it's always
So,
3s. Always 3s.
but when they come back the next month and I'll say, right, how have you got on? Nobody ever says, oh, I totally forgot about that. They'll probably be scrambling the night before going, oh, my homework, I didn't do my homework for Julie, whatever it might be. But they need to have some sort of answer. It could have been they've been sick with a flu for a month. It could have been anything, but they've got to have taken 3 actions away must mean they want to take action to move those forward. And sometimes we get blockers that aren't planned. But
Yeah.
like I said before, nothing's lost. Even something got 80% there, put it on the shelf, and 1 month later it might be just ready to go. And you go, I've almost finished it. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise we're just gonna faff around, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of procrastination. It's
I'm
not a
not a
word that
faffer.
lives in my house.
In all fairness, I'm not a faffer. And it's funny because I always remember I worked at Royal Caribbean and America, and I know it's in the UK as well, but there was the DISC personality traits. So I was very much airy fairy I, which was heart and connection and ideas, but not always a follow through. And then there was the drivers. So I actually I was quite close to the drivers as well, which was no emotion, just get it done. So I have now, funnily enough, I've got quite a few people when they bring me an idea, I'm like, make a call, do it. Go on, no, no, no. I'm like, no, don't faff around. I can't. I don't. Some people say I'm impulsive. I'm like, no, I'm not impulsive. I'm decisive. There's a complete difference.
Yes. Oh, totally different. Yeah.
And for anyone listening to this, if someone says, "Oh, you're impulsive," no, decisive. Pick the label that you want that will help you move forward, and that's a really powerful. And listen to the labels you create for yourself when you haven't completed your task, because that's a telltale sign of the emotional state that you're in as well. So
Yeah.
from Julie Taylor, the queen bee, the queen of the hive, the buzzy buzz buzz. What's 3 things
Things.
somebody could do from today to hold themselves accountable? That big scary word of accountability. What would they do? 3 things, Julie.
Okay. I would say time blocking. So block your diary. And the most important thing as a business owner is when you're going to go on holiday. Your bank holiday, public holidays. I'm in a different country, so we've got different days. So don't leave yourself wide open for your clients to stamp all over your weekends and your evenings and you're on a time difference, and because it's not going to bring you joy, and that's not why you started a business. To go people to cross your boundaries when you haven't even told them what your boundaries are because they haven't got a crystal ball. So time blocking. What's the next one? Probably be accountable by telling somebody what you're so it can be, there's lots of apps. There's co-working apps that you can go online. I've not tried them, but I've heard people that love them and have made really good friends through those, where you can go on and co-work with somebody and you say, right, today I'm trying to do 5 social media posts or write an email campaign, whatever it might be. And the fact you told that person, then you come back at the end of the hour and unless you're going to tell them that your internet broke, I don't think we're really going to have a good enough excuse for why you didn't get that shit done. Oh, what's the third one? I'm going to say go out networking because if you're stuck with something, that again, accountable. Why aren't you accountable? Why aren't you getting something done? Because you don't have the skills or the knowledge or the connection with somebody with that. So if you go out and ask questions, ask for help. Why is it a real? It is more of a female thing, isn't it? A female trick community and asking for help. I've got no shame whatsoever. I'd be that person talking at bus stop to the person next to me. I've not got some sort of social issue that I will talk to anybody. But if I've got a question, I will ask. And networking's everywhere. I try and explain it to my family that, my next door neighbour's got new windows. Use my Google Translate to go and say, excuse me, where did you get your windows from? Because I want my windows. Or you can just go, I'm not asking them. I don't want them to know that I'm getting new windows. Well, who cares? It's just like, well, you get the rubbish windows or the twice the price windows. Whereas if you just ask your neighbour, they might have said, don't go here. They're really nice, but they won't turn up. Da, 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 da. This is the people to use. What's lost? Pride? I don't know what it is. Shame? I don't know what it is. We meant to know everything about running a business. I'm sorry, but somebody that comes out of Harvard Business School doesn't know how to run a business. None of us have got all the skills and all the connections. None of us. Maybe Stephen Bartlett and his big gang of people. I don't know. Or people on Shark Tank and all that stuff. But they didn't have it on day one, did they? Week one.
No. And do you know what? A circle of friends with we used to have an accountability group when I first started my business. It was the best thing ever. And when anybody ever says, Cuddy, why have you gone from where you were to where you are now so quickly? I went, accountability. Accountability. We had a great group of, there was about 5 of us. We'd meet every morning at 6 a.m. and bring our wins in. What did we do to move our business forward? And I could not turn up to that meeting every morning at 6 o'clock and go, oh, I didn't do anything yesterday. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And I'd be like, oh, I've done this and I've done this. And and I did this and I did this. And that awareness of realizing, so when you get 6 weeks in, you're like, oh, I've not moved my business forward. Actually, no, I have moved my business forward. Because remember, I brought a win. Even when I was ill, I would do something to move my business forward, because that accountability group in the morning, and I've mentioned this to a lot of people, is get or find a group of people that want to move forward, the accountability, and you'll start moving your business forward.
Yeah, and even if they don't have the answer in the group, the fact you've verbalized it, you said, "Oh, I'm really sick of so and so," and they'll go, "Me too." Oh, I thought it was just me. And also, I challenge people. We had a session. My session's called Hour in the Hive. Yesterday of a photographer, and I said, "Have you contacted?" Oh, I love working with other photographers, and I said that to the other business owners. I said, if you see somebody doing something great and they're in a similar complementary bit, go and approach them, because it may look perfect, but it'll be stuck together with sticky tape and tied together with string underneath. I can guarantee you that. Is you might be able to help each other and say, "I'm really trying to do this, but it's too difficult." And they'll go, "Yeah, I tried that. It was so difficult. But I found this tool. Oh, that tool's amazing. Oh my God." And people love helping other people. There might be the odd person with their arm around the homework. They're not for us. And you've had a chat with them and they're the people to avoid. But I would probably say, I'm going to say 7 out of 10 people will be happy to help, share, commiserate, whatever it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you want to share today, Julie?
Just if you want to come along, I run complimentary brainstorming every week. So if you like to hang out on Zoom with strangers, and share your business woes, but we celebrate, commiserate. One conversation went from AI to microdosing in 1 hour, and even if you
You
didn't
have
find the
access to
answer,
microdosing
yeah, we do.
yeah, you will do, right?
Yeah.
Have you microdosed before coming on this podcast?
No, this is just normal me.
That's absolutely fantastic. I love that. And normal you is absolutely fantastic. You actually do remind me of one of my relatives when we're talking, and she's called Julie, believe it or not.
Oh, spooking.
I've got
Are
a
we
cousin called
related?
Julie.
Have you got something to tell me after this?
No, no, not at all. No.
It's a
Well, I'm
long
from
lost
Barnsley, so
family.
that does happen, to be fair.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah. I was always surprised that some of my family members didn't arrive on the Jeremy Kyle show. I was always very surprised that that never happened.
And you know where I'm from, the
Halifax.
Happy Valley just out road.
Oh,
So
Happy Valley. I always thought Happy Valley was
yeah,
Huddersfield, but no, it was Halifax, wasn't
yeah,
it?
Strawberry Bridge. Yeah, just down the
It's
road.
not far at all from where
Not
not
far at
far
all.
from where I originally. I mean, I've been in Scotland for 20 years now, which is how I met Lee. But thank you, Julie. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking about
You're welcome.
accountability and what genuinely moves people forward. Send me your details. I'll put them into the description of the podcast. And it's been an absolute pleasure. So for anybody, if you are wanting to know why some businesses move or some entrepreneurs move forward quicker in life, accountability is the secret sauce. It's the secret thing that helps you overcome the fear that you will absolutely have going into the big bad world of running your own business, entrepreneurship. It will always be fear that makes you procrastinate, and that the word of it's just not perfect, so I can't put it out into the world is no one cares. Put it out into the world. Get yourself an accountability partner and watch your business thrive. And Julie, you sound like you're the person just to do that. As always, big love from Cuddy, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Mind Management Mentors podcast.
Yeah.